The child embodies our ultimate vision, that every Filipino learner will realize their full potential and ultimately reach their biggest dreams, no matter how high, no matter how hard, through quality education. And as our learners aim to soar, we must continue to elevate our goals. Rising, the kite is our emblem of aspiration to deliver the brand of quality in Philippine basic education. The quadrants of the soaring kite symbolize the key reform areas in forwarding this cause, as we embark on this aggressive reform to yield upskilled teachers, well-developed curriculum, improved learning environment, and responsive multi-stakeholder cooperation. Using the colors of our flag, the logo symbolizes our unity and serves as a reminder that it takes a nation to educate a child. Together, we as a nation will have to move forward and gain more momentum so that our vision of quality basic education for all shall take flight. Sama-sama sa pagsulong ng edukalidad.
Well, hello, Mrs. Morgan. Remember how hard it was to get your students' attention? Oh, Mr. Jeski, any explosive ideas? And you, Mr. Fisher, the world keeps turning, right? Okay, we're past all that, because now we have Microsoft Educator Center. Trainings, courses, webinars, programs, badges, points, certificates. Join now and get yourself ready for the new school year. Teach your best.
Nang sumiklab ang giyera sa Marawi, maraming buhay at kabuhayan ang nawala. Maraming kabahayan at paaralan ang napinsala. Sa kabila ng matinding suliranin, naging matagumpay ang DepEd na mabigyan ang mga mag-aaral ng pagkakataong ipagpatuloy ang edukasyon at muling bumangon sa sitwasyon. Habang naghihintay sa pagkumpuni at pagsasaayos ng mga paaralan, nagkaloob ang DepEd ng mga temporary learning shelters, remedial classes, learning kits, at feeding programs para sa mga displaced learners. Nabigla ang lahat sa pag-alboruto ng Bulkang Taal. Libo-libong pamilya, kabilang ang mga guro at mag-aaral, ang nawalan ng tirahan at mga ari-arian. Mabilis ang naging tugon ng DepEd upang makapagpatuloy sa pag-aaral ang mga apektadong mag-aaral. Sinikap ng mga guro na turuan ang mga mag-aaral na pansamantalang tumuloy sa evacuation center. Tumama sa bansa ang COVID-19 pandemic, dahilan upang maantala ang normal na daloy ng pamumuhay at trabaho sa lahat ng sektor, kabilang na ang kagawaran ng edukasyon. Nang ipatupad ang Luzon lockdown, inilunsad ang DepEd Commons upang tuloy ang pagkatuto ng mga learners habang nasa bahay. Sa kabila ng mabigat na hamon sa ilalim ng new normal, patuloy na nagpunyagi ang DepEd upang maghanap at maghatid ng mga alternatibong pamamaraan upang magpatuloy ang edukasyon sa pinakaligtas at pinakaangkop na paraan. Sa ilalim ng Learning Continuity Plan, layunin ng DepEd na magpatuloy ang edukasyon nang hindi nakokompromiso ang kapakanan at kalusugan ng mga guro at mag-aaral. Isusulong ng DepEd ang tatlong pangunahing layunin: angkop na proteksyon, kaugnay ng mga health standards at safety protocols para sa ligtas na school year, patuloy na edukasyon sa pamamagitan ng blended learning, distance learning at homeschooling na angkop sa kapasidad ng bawat mag-aaral, at mabisang aksyon sa pakikipagtulungan sa lokal na pamahalaan at mga partner organizations upang maihatid ang dekalidad na edukasyon para sa lahat. Bawat DepEd Division ay bumuo rin ng sarili nilang Learning Continuity Plan upang gabayan ang mga guro, mga magulang at mga mag-aaral sa bagong pamamaraan ng pag-aaral gamit ang online, modular, at TV and radio-based instructions. Gamit ang iba't ibang learning modalities, nagdaos ng dry run ang mga paaralan sa iba't ibang bahagi ng bansa, katuwang ang mga local government units at mga education partners upang maging handa sa bagong sistema ng edukasyon. Isinagawa rin ang mga pagsasanay at oryentasyon sa mga magulang upang maging epektibong katuwang sa pag-aaral ng kanilang mga anak. Sa anumang hamon o sitwasyon, handa ang DepEd. Handang kumilos, handang tumugon, at handang magserbisyo.
Ang dami ng mga pagsusubok at challenges ang naharap at napagtagumpayan ng ating Department of Education. Tuwing may pagsusubok, priority palagi natin ang ating learners at ang ating mga teachers sa tulong ng parents at saka partners at ang buong bansa. Ngayon, sa hinaharap natin itong new normal na sinasabi nila, matatag ang ating kagawaran, matatag ang DepEd dahil pinagtibay na tayo ng panahon. Kayang-kaya natin ito sa tulong ninyo.
G'day everyone, I'm Mark. As a teacher and a former principal, I know that professional learning often comes at the end of a very long day. But there are exciting, less structured ways to be in the driver's seat of your own lifelong learning. A great place to start is by engaging with our Microsoft Innovative Educator, or MIE, community. This global community is big, in fact it's enormous. Our MIEs love connecting. Monthly tweet meets are global gatherings of inspiring educators around big topics, and their Facebook group acts as a persistent home for discussions and shared activities. Another way teachers are learning within communities is through Microsoft Teams. Now, greater teacher collaboration improves teaching across schools, and Teams is the ultimate platform for a professional learning community. It's open-walled and socially embedded, so you can incorporate your OneNote Staff Notebook PLC and have access to all the goodness of video chat, phone, and collaboration tools. With Immersive Reader built in, it's inclusive and accessible on any device. Your learning community is just a click away. Last tip, our Microsoft Education Centre offers great ways to gain new skills with courses tailored uniquely to your needs. Make it a collaborative experience by picking a MEC course to do together with your peers. And as a bonus, you can practice collaborative learning by exploring a research paper like the Class of 2030 and treat it just like a book club with your colleagues face-to-face or in Teams. The link to that research, it's in the description. Remember, learning is socially embedded. It's best done together for students and for teachers. Happy learning.
2020 brought new beginnings for the Department of Education. Ready to pivot towards attaining quality education, DepEd was hopeful of the challenges ahead of it. But as DepEd continued to work on its commitment, the world suddenly faced a steeper dilemma. Around the globe, countries like the Philippines had to shift their priorities to respond to a public health crisis brought by COVID-19. Schools had to be closed, activities had to be halted, graduation ceremonies had to be canceled, as people were urged to stay at home. A new normal dawned upon us. As soon as DepEd realized the impact of these disruptions in education, it began to proactively craft its learning continuity plan last April to ensure that learning opportunities will still be available. Consulting with partners and advisors through the Education Forum, as well as legislators, teachers, parents, learners, and the general public, DepEd made sure its LCP encompasses the concerns of the whole education sector in responding to the crisis. Its topmost priority being the protection of the health, safety, and well-being of learners, teachers, and personnel. To make informed decisions, DepEd first analyzed relevant data and epidemiological picture for the incoming school year. DepEd also issued guidelines on its required health standards to be adopted in all public and private schools and DepEd offices following DOH and IATF protocols. It covers 4 COVID-19 mitigation objectives, namely, to increase physical and mental resilience, reduce transmission, reduce contact, and reduce duration of infection. The LCP also outlined how learning continuity will be ensured. It streamlines the K-12 curriculum into the most essential learning competencies and allows the use of distance learning, homeschooling, and blended learning modalities. Since conducting face-to-face classes will be a risk in most areas, DepEd has anchored its delivery of education to modular, online, TV and radio, or a combination of all. Guided by teachers, modular learning will allow learners to use self-learning modules in a format applicable to learners' capacity. In online distance learning, teachers will facilitate and engage learners' participation through the internet, whether synchronous or asynchronous. TV and radio-based instructions, on the other hand, are converted lessons fit for the broadcast medium. The LCP assures that all our learners, including our SPED, ALS, Madrasa students, can still access education even within the confines of their homes, and ensures that their household capacity will not hinder their right to education. To make this possible, our joint Brigada Eskwela and Oplan Balik Eskwela is assisting the preparations for the rollout of the LCP. On May 8, the LCP was approved by the IATF. The President also gave it his full support and expressed his commitment to meeting the financial demands of its execution. The implementation of the LCP will not be easy. It is not a perfect plan, and complications can be expected along the way. But extraordinary times call for extraordinary and proactive measures, and the Department of Education is ready to address the challenges along the way with the help of our national and local government, partners, parents, and learners. As one nation, learning opportunities shall be available in this brave new world for our Filipino children.
When you need the focus to be on you and not whatever that guy's doing, open Teams.
na naman namin ang lahat ng ari-arian nyo!
Sa totoong buhay, totoo ang pinsala ng giyera. Mula noon hanggang ngayon. Para limitahan ang kalupitan ng giyera, nagkaisa ang mga bansa 70 taon na ang nakalipas upang itaguyod ang Geneva Conventions. Ang Geneva Conventions ay kinikilala ng buong mundo bilang bahagi ng international humanitarian law na nagtatakda ng mga patakaran ng giyera o the rules of war. Ayon dito, huwag gawing target ang mga sibilyan at kanilang mga ari-arian. Tratuhin sa makataong paraan ang mga nabilanggo at protektahan ng mga doktor, nurse at mga ospital para paglingkuran ang mga sugatan at may sakit saan man panig sila nagmula. Alamin ang Geneva Conventions. Bisitahin ang www.therulesofwar.org.
Hi guys! So I just came from a meeting and I was just told that I would be leading this fundraising concert for International Students Day. And I have to present the plan to the school board next week. Okay, I'm going to need some help. Let me create a team space and invite my dream team. Sia, she knows all about the budgeting and stuff. Ivan, he knows all the kids from the performing arts group. Aisha, she worked on getting sponsorship last year. And Sam, because he's so cute. Let me lay out all tasks in Planner and kick things off. So, I'm almost done with my event concept and inspiration board. I just need Ivan to do some final tweaks and plug in the repertoire. Budget from Sia? Check. Sponsorship plan? Check. Done! Whew! When you start using Microsoft Teams, teamwork really does become easier. So now I'm heading over to present the plan to the school board. Wish me luck!
De Luna,
Present!
Herrera,
Present!
Valera.
Present!
Handa ba tayo sa school year 2020?
Present!
Ngayong taon, ang edukasyon tuloy pa rin. Sa tulong ng DepEd, mga guro at mga magulang, ang handang isip, handa bukas. Tuloy-tuloy ang pag-aaral. May mga modules para sa iba't ibang antas. Sa government TV, maging sa radyo. Mahalagang ligtas ang ating mga estudyante at guro. Kaya kahit nasa bahay, tuloy ang edukasyon. Kung tulong-tulong, may paraan, may aralan. Handang isip, handa bukas. Bisitahin ang DepEd Philippines sa Facebook at ang deped.gov.ph.
If you spend more time tracking down files than actually working on them, open Teams.
The COVID-19 pandemic has brought unprecedented changes to our usual ways of living. But the Department of Education remains unfazed by these challenges to fulfill the mission of Sulong Edukalidad, the rallying call for national effort to deliver quality basic education to all Filipinos, which involve aggressive reforms in the 4 key areas: the K-12 curriculum review and update, improving the learning environment, teachers upskilling and reskilling, and engagement of stakeholders for support and collaboration to move forward together as we prepare the education system for the future. The call for Sulong Edukalidad will continue, and we have built the framework of the Basic Education Learning Continuity Plan, or the BELCP, to put the needs of the learners at top priority. DepEd's BELCP is the major response and commitment to protect the health, safety, and well-being of learners, teachers, and personnel. The plan aims to provide opportunities to continue education even in these trying times with a BELCP in place, supported by an unprecedented number of diverse stakeholders from the academe, media, industry groups, NGOs, business and private individuals. Sulong Edukalidad will be able to sustain the aims in its reform for quality basic education. In our journey towards quality education, we have established the 4 pillars of aggressive reforms from the start, and we have been continuing to progress in these pillars. In improving the learning environment, we took action in the construction and rehabilitation of school buildings, ensured the availability of learning materials and equipment, and prioritized our last mile schools. The challenges of the pandemic also brought to light the urgent need to upgrade our ICT infrastructure to service the needs of education. In terms of the teachers' upskilling and reskilling, we were able to establish more innovative professional standards for teachers and school heads. We have aligned the professional development of teachers with their career progression to track their development as part of the National Educators Academy of the Philippines transformation. With the launch of the Education Futures program, where we will be focusing on innovative actions and solutions to improve the state of our education, we are now more than ready to start a new journey and continue our fight for quality education for all Filipino learners. Finally, we've given high importance to the engagement of stakeholders for support and collaboration. In support of this, we have convened the Philippine Forum for Accessible Quality Basic Education, or the Education Forum, which will leverage other partnerships for education quality and strengthen partnership with the Philippine Normal University as the country's National Center for Teacher Education. The department has also been developing a professional development program for teachers and school leaders in order to equip them with the skills, materials, and data that will allow them to help their students prepare for PISA 2022. This intervention consists of the following components: online training for teachers and school leaders, development of learning materials and practice tests for students, deepening the analysis of the PISA 2018 results, and supporting school-level action research. Now that the year is about to end, our commitment to Sulong Edukalidad will continue and will be far from being gone. With a lot at stake, considering our new knowledge and experience from this year's challenges, we are equipped to face a new future. As we head on to the future where we will face many challenges and uncertainties, the department will always be the guardian of every Filipino learner's right to education.
Sino ba ang hindi naapektuhan? Sino ba ang hindi nag-alala? Sino ba ang hindi nalito? Lahat tayo ay naapektuhan. Lahat tayo ay nag-aalala. Lahat tayo ay nalito. Dahil binago ng pandemyang dulot ng COVID-19 ang paraan ng pamumuhay ng lahat ng mga Pilipino saan mang sektor ka nabibilang. Tumigil ang panandalian ang ating mga nakagawian. Tumigil ang lahat ng uri ng transaksyon. Tumigil ang lahat ng operasyon ng mga paaralan. Nakalilito. Nakakakaba. Paano na ang kinabukasan ng mga kabataan? Paano na tayo sa hinaharap? Opisyal na nilulunsad ng Kagawaran ng Edukasyon sa pangunguna ng Office of the Undersecretary for Curriculum and Instruction ang DepEd Teaches. Ito ay isang online na programa na gagabay sa mga guro, tagapangasiwa, magulang at mag-aaral hinggil sa mga pagbabago sa batayang edukasyon ngayong new normal. Ang DepEd Teaches ay angkla sa sulong edukalidad na nakatuon sa apat na pangunahing pangangailangan ng mapunyaging reforma tungo sa makalidad na pagtuturo at pagkatuto. Una, pagre-review at pagsasapanahon ng kurikulum ng K-12. Ikalawa, pagpapaunlad ng kapaligirang pampagkatuto. Ikatlo, paglinang ng mga bagong kasanayan sa mga guro. At ang ikaapat, ang pakikipag-ugnay sa mga stakeholder para sa suporta at kolaborasyon. Sa pamamagitan ng virtual learning platform, ang DepEd Teaches ang magsisilbing bukas na komunidad ng pagsasanay na titipon sa mga guro, tagapamunong pang-edukasyon at sa sinumang may pagnanais sa pagtataguyod ng kalidad na edukasyon sa bansa at sa pagtagumpay ng bawat Pilipinong mag-aaral. Ang mga opisyal, education specialist, learning content expert at outstanding teacher ng DepEd ang magiging tagapanayam na magbabahagi ng kanilang kaalaman at kasanayan sa kurikulum, pagtuturo at pagkatuto, pagtataya at lahat ng kaugnay na mahalaga sa proseso ng pagtuturo at pagkatuto sa new normal. Bilang mga frontliner ng classroom, inaasahang magiging aktibo ang mga guro sa programang ito. Ang mga tema at paksa ay angkop sa kanilang pangangailangan at konteksto sa pamamagitan ng accessible na platform, ang social media. Sumali na sa OUCI family sa DepEd Teaches kung sama-sama mapahuhusay pa ang mga guro, kung sama-sama higit na malilinang natin ang mga mag-aaral.
A pleasant afternoon to everyone, and welcome to another exciting episode of DepEd Teaches. We are live right now on DepEd Philippines and DepEd Tayo Facebook pages. We just have started airing this week, but it has been a blast since our launching. Again, thank you so much for your continuous support. We look forward as well to seeing your selfies while you are watching DepEd Teaches together with your insights and comments. Don't forget the hashtag I support DepEd Teaches. Good afternoon, Ma'am Ana. It's going to be 13 days before the end of 2020. And with perfect hope, we wish for a brighter 2021. I just wonder, Ma'am Ana, what has been your most significant learning in this 2020?
Blessed afternoon to all our live audience on DepEd Teaches. Good afternoon, Sir July. To answer your question, as we can see, time flies and 2020 has been a roller coaster ride. So bad things happen, but there are a lot of good things that happen also. And one thing I've realized during this global crisis, this pandemic, is that time is very precious. Time is a gift, time to take care of ourselves, time to help other people, time to pray, time to reflect, time we spend with our family, and of course, like right now, time to learn new things through DepEd Teaches. So for me, 2020 has taught me to value and be thankful for the gift of time that we have. What about you, Sir July? What is the biggest realization you have for this year, 2020?
That is so much true, Ma'am Ana. Time is indeed something that we really need to value and cherish. For me, one of my realization is that optimism and having positive outlook and mindset serve as fuel or driving force in continue adapting and surviving in this health crisis. Yes, as we navigate in this unprecedented period in our life, we lost something or someone along the way. But having a positive mindset that all these things will come into an end and everything will just return to what it used to be, then it gives us hope to survive, to endure every challenges, and to continue what is essentially persisting. And one of this, if I may say, education and learning should continue and should persist.
Glad to hear that, Sir July. I agree with you. No, we should be able to continue to persist, to endure, and education will never stop. So I think another blessing that we should be grateful this year is the Department of Education has never stopped providing support to our learners and of course to our frontliners, our dear teachers in the field. On the part of the Office of the Curriculum Instruction led by USEC Justado San Antonio, coming up with DepEd Teaches is about creating a community of practice who moves and works towards the same direction, empowering teachers, enabling learners. So, Sir July, even though it's just a 30-minute discussion here in DepEd Teaches, we've learned so many things from our speakers for the past 3 days. And today, I believe our audience on our Facebook page is excited to listen for another brilliant presentation.
That is right, Ma'am Ana. And so, to complete the discussion that we have started, from the curriculum to modalities to assessment, let us not forget learning resources that is equally important as well in teaching and learning process. Without learning resources, both our learners and teachers would be at disadvantaged. And so, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the fourth episode of DepEd Teaches entitled Overcoming Challenges in Learning Resources. Son, he is a lawyer and a public servant and presently is the caretaker of the Learning Resources Bureau. Let us welcome the OIC Director of the Bureau of Learning Resources, none other than Attorney Aris Delson Kawilan.
Good day, everyone, especially to our dear teachers and DepEd personnel who are with us and who are pouring all efforts to ensure that learning continue to happen despite these challenging times. Among the challenges that we in the Department of Education and the learning public as a whole are facing relates to learning resources. The public health emergency brought by COVID-19 compelled the Department of Education to be innovative and resourceful in delivering quality, accessible, and relevant, liberating basic education, resulting to the use of self-learning modules on a large scale. This is based on DepEd Order Number 18, Series of 2020, or the policy guidelines for the provision of learning resources in the implementation of the Basic Education Learning Continuity Plan. Self-learning modules, or formerly alternative delivery modules, are self-contained, self-instructional, self-paced, and interactive learning resources for public school learners intended for learning a specific topic or lesson where the learner interacts actively with the instructional material rather than reading the material passively. Self-learning modules are considered flexible learning materials which are responsive to the need, context, circumstance, and diversity of learners during disasters or in situations where learners have difficulty for daily school attendance such as this pandemic. Further, modules have been used to address access and gaps in formal education. Self-learning modules have become ideal learning resources in remote or distance learning where a teacher is unable to provide and provide instructional supervision and guidance in a classroom setting. With this policy, the department has embarked on the development of modules on a large scale. Development teams were tasked to create content guided by the most essential learning competencies. Once the modules are written, the same are subjected to quality assurance. Once completed, the modules are given to our personnel for layouting, and subsequently, these modules are provided to learners either in print copy or in digital copy. Our schools play an important role in ensuring that these modules are delivered to our learners. Let us watch this video from Lutukan Integrated National High School, a school located in Sariaya, Quezon, and headed by its principal, Mr. Jesse Vasquez, for us to see how they operationalize learning through the use of modules. Sir July, please share the video. There. Thank you to our teachers in Lutucan Integrated National High School and to Mr. Jesse Vasquez for that video. I hope you have seen great practices that they have been adopting. Surely, most schools have adopted the same manner of delivering modules to our learners. However, these learning resources could not deliver learning on its own. Mr. Jesse Vasquez said that among their challenges is how best they could deliver learning with the use of these modules, and he shared several practices that they made, among which are utilizing technology to maximize interaction with learners and to lessen the cost of printed modules. Second, um, they utilize Facebook groups as virtual video, Gmeet, Zoom app for online interaction, and the use of FB Messenger for updating and taking up the needs and concerns of their teachers and learners. Um, they also use technology for continuous upskilling of teachers through virtual or face-to-face LAC sessions. I know that these practices of Lutucan Integrated National High School are being adopted by our schools in the nation. One particular practice that we would want to highlight is the use of technology not only as a virtual classroom, but as a tool containing learning resource and an access point to available learning resources that is available online. I shall be discussing later some of these access points in the internet where we could freely access some learning resources such as the DepEd Commons and the LR portal of the Department of Education. In fact, we strongly encourage schools division offices, and regional offices to adopt already a strategy to go digital whenever possible. Among the benefits of going digital are, first, it is cost efficient. The cost of paper and printing is high. Some studies point out that investing in gadgets can help reduce this cost to minimum levels. It also allows us to save space and use these spaces for more productive purposes. Second, it is environmentally friendly. Aside from saving money, we could help the environment with the use of less paper. Third, it allows enhanced and timely access to information. With gadgets, one could easily access available information that is either stored in said gadgets. They can likewise access more information and resources through the internet. In fact, depending on the quality of the gadget, the materials that can be accessed there are more visually clear because the material's quality that is placed in said gadget does not wear off. Going back to the story of Lutucan Integrated National High School, Mr. Jesse Vasquez also intimated some challenges. Among the challenges, he said, is that learners have limited gadgets and internet connectivity is still not affordable and seamless. Though these challenges exist, Mr. Jesse Vasquez is positive that they could work out the provision for free internet. All of us are indeed facing several challenges related to learning resources. Among the major challenges that are encountered are, first, the need to immediately provide and deliver modules. Second, is the sourcing of additional funds for the production of modules. And third, are the reported presence of alleged errors in the modules. Despite these overwhelming challenges, interventions are set up to immediately address such issues not only in the central office level, but also in the regional, division, and school levels. To address the immediate need for modules, DepEd writers were mobilized to immediately work on the development of modules. To fill in the limited sources of funds, DepEd officials continuously coordinated with local government officials and built partnership with stakeholders who in turn generously provided gadgets, supplies, and other materials just to ensure that learning continuously happened despite this pandemic. As to the alleged errors reportedly found in DepEd developed modules, issuances were provided for the correction of the same, and actions were set in place for the continuous quality assurance of modules in various levels. Despite the quality assurance made by the department to all the resources for learners' use, errors have been found and submitted to our attention. Owing up the accountability, the department issues errata on these developed materials. Regional offices and schools division offices likewise set up their respective error watch teams. With the Error Watch initiative already in place, the department has organized a technical working group that will ensure that reported errors are corrected and other concerns relative to the implementation of learning resources across modalities are addressed. The department has also mobilized the regional offices to assist in incorporating the necessary corrections and are properly communicated to teachers, parents, and learners. True to its commitment to provide opportunities for all kinds of learners to enjoy education, and with the help of our stakeholders, the department sincerely acknowledges the public for their continued cooperation and understanding. We encourage everyone to report to us any matter regarding our materials through the email address or contact us through Facebook Messenger, message us through text, Viber, or work chat in the contact details provided in the screen. Magtulungan po tayo para maiayos at mapagbuti ang learning materials ng ating mga mag-aaral. We deeply appreciate the resilience and proactive approach done especially by our regional directors, CLMD and CID chiefs, schools division superintendents, LR supervisors, and school heads. We likewise salute our teachers and non-teaching personnel who are involved in overcoming challenges in learning resources. Kahanga-hanga po kayo. Another challenge intimated to us by our teachers and learners is that since there is a pandemic and stringent distancing protocols are in place, they are constrained from proceeding to their respective schools and access learning resources that are stored inside. There are some teachers who ask us if there are available learning resources online that they can share with their learners or utilize during their online classes or in their assessments. Aside from teachers, parents and learners are also asking, and the answer is yes. We have online learning resources stored for you. For those who do not have access to the LR portal, let me walk you through on how to access our LR portal as well as learning resources that are available in DepEd Commons. The first step is for you to access the link provided in the screen. You just have to type lrmds.deped.gov.ph. The second step is to register. When a public user registers the portal, a verification link shall be sent to the user's registered email address. The user is then asked to validate the email. If the user used a DepEd email account, he will be able to log as a DepEd personnel where he can access all the materials in the portal, both for learners and for teachers. If the user used a non-DepEd email address, he will be able to log in as a member where he can access resources for learners only. If the user did not verify his email address, he will not be able to access the portal at all. So make sure to verify your email address. Once you have already registered, you may now search and browse the facility. You may search by title and keyword. If the user searches, for instance, math in the search box field and does not select any filter from the list, the system will display all learning resources that contains math in the resources title, and you may now select the learning resource you want to access. If you know the exact title or competency code of the learning resource, you may key in them in the search box that is enclosed with quotation marks. If user selected title in the filter, the system will only display learning resources with math as part of its title. You may access the frequently asked questions portion of the website to further guide you in your search for your desired learning resource. What are the available learning resources stored in the LR portal? We have K-12 resources, alternative learning system, resources for professional development, and media gallery. There are thousands of K-12 resources that you can access. For grade 1 alone, there are 2,023 materials stored for you. There are several teachers' guides stored under ALS resources, and you may likewise want to check the resources for professional development that are stored in our LR portal. Finally, In the LR portal, there is also a media gallery with more or less 5,000 available media resources that you can use to create your own learning resources. We would appreciate if our teachers create their learning resources in their respective learning or subject area using the media gallery or those resources stored in said available media resources and share the same. This will increase our database for available resources that can be used by the parent, that can be used by all of us to these present and future generations to come. The latest addition for your learning resource needs is the DepEd Commons. You may access the same at www.commons.deped.gov.ph, where you can have materials per grade level. We would want to invite everyone to tune in with our DepEd TV, which is airing TV lessons to our learners. Further information shall be provided soon. We hope that the insights we provided to you today will help each one of us adapt with the challenges in learning resources that we are facing due to this pandemic. I know that most of us are feeling uneasy during this pandemic. However, with faith in God and with our joint efforts, we could hurdle our challenges. Truly, we will heal and recover as one. Keep safe, God bless, and thank you, everyone. Back to you.
Thank you so much, Attorney Kawilan, for a thorough and exceedingly vivid presentation. And I believe our audience has been enlightened on the practices and continuous effort of the Bureau of Learning Resources to provide quality materials. And so, to our live audience in Facebook, don't forget your insights and comments using the hashtag I support DepEd Teaches and hashtag DepEd Teaches Episode 4. Last Monday, during our launching of DepEd Teaches, we were not able to hear the personal message of our dear Department Secretary Lenore Magtolis Briones. Today, we are for the launching of DepEd Teaches and its pilot episodes. Without much further ado, let us welcome Secretary Leonor Magtolis Briones.
Good day to all members of the DepEd family, our learners, our teachers, our directors, superintendents, supervisors, heads of schools, and all who are involved in this battle for continuing education, even as we are also fighting COVID-19. I want to congratulate the strand of USEC dads, the curriculum group, for their successful program, which we are now starting to share with all our teachers. This is entitled DepEd Teaches, and will be continually used in DepEd Philippines and other social media platforms to reach all our teachers and all who are interested in education. This initiative is an effort contribution of the Curriculum and Instruction Group to support the efforts of the Department of Education to communicate with our various stakeholders, as it serves as a mechanism for providing technical assistance to the field as we are adapting to the new normal in basic education. Right now, we are in the middle of this fierce battle and advocacy for continuity in education, even as we are also struggling with this health emergency crisis. And the programs and initiatives that the curriculum and instruction strand has developed will help ensure that learning will continue. And this is our battle cry. Learning must continue, COVID or no COVID, bagyo or no bagyo, earthquakes, floods, even revolts or revolutions, etc., wars. Learning must continue, and this has been the experience of the Philippines through how many wars and natural disasters. And so we will continue facing these challenges. We'll continue adjusting to the changing needs for education. We will continue projecting what the future of education will be. And we will continue developing ways by which such creative ways will enhance the role of teachers in implementing DepEd programs and initiatives. So thank you very much, and congratulations, CI, for all your efforts. Congratulations for all the hard work that has been poured into DepEd Teaches. I'm very glad that you are making significant contributions to initiatives and creative ways of ensuring that education will continue even at this time. We are facing many challenges. We are facing internal challenges as well as external challenges. We are facing disasters, whether of the natural or political or social variety. But still, education continues. One of our cabinet secretaries reminded me that even during World War II, school continued. In places, in towns, and in cities where schools had been established, schools were continued. And in the mountains where the evacuees rushed and hid from the might of the imperial conquerors who tried to control and to conquer the Philippines, education continued because teachers like my mother continued to teach children and to see to it that the learning process continues. So, what is one pandemic? What is one health crisis? In the light of the wars that we have survived, in the light of the rebellions that we have lived with, in the light of the threats that we have faced against our unity as a people and as a country, what is this COVID pandemic? We will in the end conquer. We will in the end prevail. And CI will have very important contributions to all these efforts. So, congratulations. Thank you very much, CI, for what you are doing for the department, for our teachers, and most important of all, for our learners. May you continue your efforts to keep up with the changing demands of education. May you continue to keep your creative juices flowing as you develop alternative ways of teaching. May you continue cooperating with other units of the DepEd and also with the teachers, our directors, and our other officials to ensure that learning will continue whatever happens. And so thank you very much. Congratulations and best wishes as well, of course, as Merry Christmas. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Secretary Briones, for that warm message. At this point, let us listen also from the message of our dedicated Assistant Secretary from the Office of the Curriculum and Instruction. Let us all welcome ASEC Alma Ruby C. Torrio.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, my dear colleagues at the Department of Education, my dear teachers and school leaders. Magandang hapon po sa inyong lahat. So instead of giving a message, it is now high time for us to make the synthesis and at the same time deliver the closing remarks for the successful launching of our DepEd Teaches. And I am privileged to do the honors on behalf of our Undersecretary for Curriculum and Instruction, Yusek Diosdado M. San Antonio. So again, on behalf of our Undersecretary for CI, Yusek Dads, I would like to take this opportunity to sincerely thank all of you for your utmost support and participation in the pilot episodes of our DepEd Teaches. We note the great turnout of our participants via Facebook and via Zoom. And so as we cannot yet meet face-to-face because of the COVID-19 restrictions, we at the Curriculum and Instruction Strand have come up with new and creative ways in providing continuous support to our teachers, our school leaders, and the other members of our DepEd community. And as our department has taken seriously the desire to deliver quality, relevant, and responsive curriculum and instruction, even during this COVID-19 pandemic, the pilot episodes of our DepEd Teaches would like to address the challenges in curriculum, learning delivery, assessment, and learning resources. Let me acknowledge and thank all our presenters, Direct Joy Sandaya of the Bureau of Curriculum Development, Direct Laila Ariola, and Direct Lito Palomar of the Bureau of Learning Delivery, and Direct Aris Kawilan of the Bureau of Learning Resources. I note their fruitful discussions. And let me point out some relevant insights that were presented by our very competent resource speakers. For episode 1, entitled Overcoming Challenges in Curriculum, with Direct Joyce as a resource speaker, Direct Joyce termed it as In Search of the Credible instead of curriculum challenges. And she said that despite the challenges we face, her bureau, the Bureau of Curriculum Development, proposes to plans that are simple, credible, and can be done realistically. And these plans include, number one, having to revise the curriculum to focus on the key stage 1, kindergarten to 3, on MTB, MLE, GMRC, and tech walk rationalization. Second is to decongest and centralize the basic education curriculum. Third is on senior high school curriculum revision. Fourth is the firming up of the 21st century skills. And the last one is the firming up of the inclusion programs. So in this pandemic, she further noted that we need to show that we can provide an interacted learning experience that is on path with what we were opening before. For episode 2, entitled Overcoming Challenges in Learning Delivery Modalities, with Direct Laila as our resource speaker, Direct Laila mentioned that flexibility and adaptability, agility and responsiveness, collaboration and resilience are crucial for the next generations to navigate through the present and any future. The department takes this COVID-19 pandemic as a transformative opportunity to transition to national education system capable of responding not only to the diversity of community contexts and learners, but also to the threat of future crises of this magnitude. That the COVID-19 pandemic has changed the learning delivery landscape from face-to-face to distance learning, and the transition did not come without challenges. There were a number of birth pains which left us with no choice but to work exceedingly beyond our official time, even on a work from home scheme. That is the price for fearlessly venturing into something novel but necessary for our learners. With a menu of learning delivery modalities and the support accorded to learners, we find no reason for a single child to be left behind. No obstacle is insurmountable for our love for our learners. Let us be with them as they create their beautiful future and be part of it. Admittedly, COVID-19 is said to be a life-changing event. We will never allow it to kill the dreams of our learners. For episode 3, with Director Lito Palomar as our resource speaker, the episode is entitled Overcoming Challenges in the Classroom Management. He said that distance learning has brought progressive change in the way we do classroom assessments and grading. And in his episode, the following are the major takeaways. In extraordinary situations such as pandemic, flexibility is a key to meaningful and authentic assessment designs. That classroom assessment is not only a teacher's concern. We need the community of practice and accountabilities to implement it effectively. We have to integrate performance tasks not only to minimize performances, but most importantly, for our learners to build connections between and among learning areas and make meaning out of these connections. We must have a change mindset on why we grade, what our grades really mean, and how we use assessments to help our students learn. And for our final episode entitled Overcoming Challenges in Learning Resources, with Direct Aris Kawilan as our resource speaker, again, we say that in the light of pandemic, our department has to develop alternative learning resources that are self-directed, self-paced, self-motivating, which are also expressed in simple conversational language so that the learners could take on learning on their own. And at this juncture, I would like to join Direct Aris in thanking our self-learning modules development teams and our learning resource evaluators in producing or coming up with our SLMs for quarters 1 and for quarters 1 and 2. Of course, we learned of their journey, their challenging experience in developing our SLMs. But one common theme is their drive to come up with SLMs that will guarantee the continuous learning of our school children. Noteworthy too are the enormous support of our external stakeholders in the reproduction, in distribution, and the retrieval of our modules. So, my dear colleagues, I know that the 5 days airing of the pilot episodes of our DepEd Teaches will not be enough to discuss our other educational challenges. So we commit that Teaches will provide more. We will be listening to your priorities, and this will be tackled in our next episodes. We look forward to many exciting episodes ahead of us as we continue our DepEd Teachers journey. So with that, again, I say on behalf of our USEC dads, thank you very much, and please join us again in our next episodes. Magandang hapon po sa ating lahat.
Thank you so much for the synthesis, ASEC Alma, Ruby, Torio. And thank you also again to our resource person, Attorney Kawilan. That was a smooth presentation. So before we end, we just have some announcements. For you to receive your certificate of participation, you must have registered first, and then we will send you an email to complete the evaluation forms. So once you've accomplished the forms, you will receive your certificates. Another important reminder is that the evaluation on today's episode and yesterday's episode will be closed tomorrow at 3 p.m. Okay, so we extended the evaluations until tomorrow at 3 p.m. Don't forget to like and share DepEd Teaches to your colleagues. Don't forget to use our hashtag I support DepEd Teaches. Now, due to the very high volume of participants who registered for the past episodes, it will take 10 to 15 working days before you receive your certificate. So we just ask for your patience. You know, the response rate is intense and overwhelming. So we promise, hopefully, that we will send you all the certificates in 10 to 15 working days. So once again, thank you so much for tuning in. We hope to see you again in the upcoming episodes. And I wish everyone a more prosperous 2021. You know, may every day of this year inspire us to grow.
Thank you so much also, Ma'am Ana, for joining us, for joining me this week. And as well, thanks to Sir Luis and Ma'am Luna as our host yesterday. And to you, our audience, of course, we will see you again next year on the succeeding episodes of DepEd Teaches. We will just keep you posted through DepEd Philippines and DepEd Tayo Facebook pages. Because here in DepEd Teaches, our mission is empowering teachers, enabling learners. On behalf of the curriculum and instruction strand, my heartfelt thanks to all, and